Every Saturday po tayo po ay gagawa ng ganitong session para po makatulong sa kung sino mang gustong mag-take ng RME exam. Sa hapon na ito ay atin pong i-discuss kung ano yung magiging topic tungkol sa review. Natin at kung paano nga ba ang pag-take ng RME exam, ano nga ba ang mga kailangan mong gawin, ano nga ba ang mga qualifications para makapag-take ka ng RME exam. Okay, so dito ay atin muna i-discuss ang mga topic natin sa ating online discussion na ito, sa ating online review. So, ang unang topic natin is Basic Electricity and Ohm's Law. So, yan ay magiging discussion natin sa Sabadong ito at sa susunod na Sabado. Then you have electrical components, resistor, inductors, and capacitors. Tapos, AC circuit analysis, generators and alternators, motors and motor controllers, transmission and transmission lines, wires, fuses and breakers, at electrical tools, materials, and test equipment. So, yan po yung magiging topic natin for technical subject. So, later on, i-discuss ko kung ano yung mga subject na iti-take during the exam. So, para naman sa PEC, that is Philippine Electrical Code. So, our topics will be RA 7920. Then we have the general provisions of Philippine Electrical Code in wiring and protection, wiring methods and materials, electrical equipment, special occupancies and equipment, special conditions and communication systems, at watercrafts. So, ito yung tanong. Qualified ka bang mag-take ng RME board exam? Okay, so sasagutin natin yan according to the law, which is the RA 7920 or the new electrical engineering law. So, ito yung qualification. So, section 18 of RA 7920, the qualifications of applicants for registered master electricians. So, first, any person applying for admission to registered master electrician examination as herein provided shall establish to the satisfaction of the board that on or before the date of examination he possesses the following qualification. So first, he is a citizen of the Philippines. He is at least 18 years old or 18 years of age. He is good reputation with high moral values, and he has not been finally convicted by court of an offense involving moral turpitude. 4 na mga qualifications. So dapat una, siya ay isang Pilipino, at least 18 years of age during the exam. So dapat good, he has a good reputation with high moral values, and hindi pa na-convicto sa kahit anumang kaso. The final conviction to any case in court. Okay? Then, the last one is the technical background, the classification of technical background. So, una, dapat he completed at least 3 years of 5-year Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, so BSEE program, or a 3-year course in electrical engineering technology from an engineering school recognized by the Philippine government, and in addition has a subsequent specific record of 1 year practice in electrical wiring and installation, operation, and maintenance of utilization equipment and devices. So, dapat nakapagtapos ng at least 3 years sa 5-year na electrical engineering course or a 3-year electrical engineering technology at if you have that qualification or nakagraduate ka sa at least 3 years, so you must have also a 1-year practice or 1-year experience in electrical wiring, installation, operation, maintenance, utilization devices, and equipment. Next, so if 2 years, so he has graduated from a 2-year electrician course of institution from a vocational or trade school recognized by the Philippines, and in addition has at least 2 years of apprenticeship after completion of the course of instruction on electrical installation, operation, and maintenance of utilization devices and equipment. So dapat at least 2 years graduate. Kapag 2 years ka nang graduate ng electrical or electrician course, so dapat din yung experience mo is 2 years. So 2 years na experience related to electrical installation, operation, maintenance of utilization devices and equipment. Then next is has completed a 1-year electrician's course of instruction from a vocational school recognized by the Philippine government, and in addition has at least 3 years of apprenticeship after the completion of the course of instruction on electrical installation, operation, maintenance of utilization devices and equipment. So dapat if nakapagtapos ka ng 1-year electrician's course, so yung experience mo is 3 years also. Then if you are a graduate of a 4-year high school education, so or its equivalent, so yung sa ALS or yung alternate learning system, so in addition you must have at least 5 years of apprenticeship in electrical wiring, installation, operation, and maintenance of utilization devices and equipment. So if we are going to have the summary of this one, okay, so hanapan natin itong ano. So if you are going to have a summary, so if you are a 3-year graduate, so kunyari you have a 3-year, so medyo ano yung pen natin, hanapin na ibang kulay ng pen. Okay, so if you are a 3-year graduate ng BSEE or Diploma in Electrical Technology, so that is DET. Okay, so ang experience mo is dapat 1 year. So 1 year experience. If you are a 2-year electrician's course, so EE course, so dapat yung experience mo is 2 years din. If you are only 1 year, so electrician's course, so dapat yung experience mo is 3 years. Okay, then if you are a high school graduate, no, so high school graduate, so yung experience mo is dapat 5 years. Okay, so my question agad dito is, what if you are a graduate of an electronics engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, so ilang years ang experience na dapat mong ma-achieve so that you will be qualified to take the RME exam? So if you are basing on the law, so according to the law, kailangan mo ng 1 year if 3-year related in electrical engineering yung course na tapos mo. 2 years experience if 2 years din yung electrical or electrician's course. 1 year electrician's course is 3 years. Now the civil, mechanical, electronics, or even if you are a nursing graduate, so that is not related to electrical engineering or electrician's course. So saan na bracket ka mabibilong ngayon sa apat na ito? So dito ka lalagay sa high school graduate, and you will need 5 years experience. So if you are a civil engineering graduate, master plumber, chemical. So you need 5 years experience if you want to take the registered master electrician's course. Okay, so the scope of the examination. Okay, so ang exam is good for 1 day. Okay, ano na natin to. So ang exam ay may dalawang subjects. So the first subject sa umaga is the Ohm's law. Okay, so the technical subject. So the technical subject will consist of many topics or lessons. So first we have the Ohm's law. So ang laman ng Ohm's law is the calculations for resistance, current, voltage, and power for direct current and alternating current circuit. Then next is electrical machines. So description and operating principles of motors, generators, and transformers. Then we have control equipment. So description and function of uses, overload relays, safety switches, magnetic switches, circuit breaker, star delta motors, transformers, starters, transformer type motor starters, DC motor starters. Then we have electrical components. So this is still under the technical subjects. So we have electrical components, so description of resistors, capacitors, inductors, and semiconductors. You have maintenance and repair, so description of the procedures in maintenance of electrical machinery. Then test equipment, so types and uses of measuring instrument. Then you have electrical engineering provisions, so pertaining to registered master electrician, so that is the RA 7920 or the new electrical engineering law. And we have the other related subjects as may be prescribed by the board. So ito yung technical subject. So this will be on the morning, 4-hour 50-item multiple choice exam. Then in the afternoon we have the Philippine Electrical Code. So the topics for that is the general requirements for installation of electrical wiring and equipment, approved wiring methods, types of wiring materials and wiring devices, installation of switchboards and panels, installation in hazardous occasion, wiring diagrams of different types of motor starters with motor protection, drawing symbols and wiring plants, and other related subjects as may be prescribed by the board. So this is done sa hapon. So also a 4-hour multiple choice exam. So my choices. Okay, so requirements for ito ba. So the number of test questions shall be such that the examination can be finished in 1 8-hour day. So the exam sa RME is good for 1 day, 8 hours. Okay, so ang mga test questions, ang dami ng test questions is design na matatapos ang buong exam within 1 day. So that's why the number of items is 50 items. Then the relative weight shall be 50% for technical subjects and 50% for Philippine Electrical Code. So the passing general average rating shall be 70% with no grade below 50% in any subject. So ano yung ibig sabihin ng 50% sa technical at 50% sa Philippine Electrical Code? Okay, so ibig sabihin yan, the passing rate, so the passing rate is 70%. So if your technical subject, for example, you got yung score mo is sabihin natin 35. Okay, 35. So 35 hindi percent. Yan natin to, edit na natin to. So 35. Then okay, then sa sa PEC, so you got a score of 40 out of 50. So ang gagawin mo lang dito is ita times 2 to, ita times 2 yan. Then you will have 70. And this will be 80. Tapos 50%. So ita times natin ng 50%, or the other shortcut for 50% will be 0.5. So 0.5. Then dito then is 0.5. So you have 70 times 0.5, this will be 35. Then 80 times 0.5, this will be 40. Ito total mo yan, 75% yung total grade mo. So that is 75%. So the passing is 70%. So if ganito yung score mo, then you pass the exam. Okay. Also, kailangan natin tandaan na may isa ding provision dito na dapat wala kang subject na below 50%. So, kahit na yung score mo is umabot ng 70%, then mayroong isa dito na 50% lang yung nakuha mo, and that 50%, the 50% for 50 is 25. Kunyari, yung technical mo is 25. Tapos ito ipagpalagay na natin na perfect mo to 50 yung PEC. So that will be 25 times 2, this will be 50. Then 50 times 2, this will be 100. So you have 25, this will be 50, then you still have a 75. So if you are basing on the 70% passing rate, so pasado ka, but meron kang 50 o meron kang 25 na score. So, ang sinasabi dito is not below 50. So, 50%, so 25. So, it is, you are still passed o nakapasa ka pa rin. Pero pag naging 24 to, this will be also 74. So, kahit pa mas mataas ka sa 70 na passing rate, but you have a subject na below 50% or below 25 na score, then, ang mangyayari dyan is, hindi ka papasa. Nag-fail ka sa exam. And unlike dati na yung pabalikan mo lang is yung subject kung saan ka mababa or kung saan ang below 50 ka, ngayon you will retake all of the subjects. Okay? Now we go to the requirements in the exam applications. So first, if BSEE graduate, so dapat meron kang NSO or PSE birth certificate. If you are married or married na babae, so dapat may marriage contract. Then transcript of records with scan picture and remarks, so dapat yung transcript ay may for board exam purposes. Then you have completed at least 3 years of BSEE or a 3-year course in electrical engineering technology. So if 3 years, itong nasabi ko, so dapat meron kang certificate na 1-year experience. Pag 2 years, so dapat 2 years din yung certificate. So pag 1 year, so dapat 3 years yung certificate. At high school graduate or non-EE, so dapat 5 years ang apprenticeship or ang certificate of experience. Okay, so ito yung for first timers, so sa mga magti-take. So TOR or high school diploma, then your certificate of employment. So that is one of the proof or isa yan sa mga proof na nagsasabi na kayo talaga ay may experience related to electrical. Tapos magpapapirma din kayo ng COE or certificate of experience na isa-sign ng REE or RME na dapat ang kanyang certificate of registration is prior to the date of employment. Then yung certificate of employment or surveys record. Okay? So, yan lang lahat yung mga kailangan gawin para maging qualified kayo to take the RME board exam. Okay? So, after nito, we will go directly to our first topic. So, it is just a very short topic about basic electricity. So, it is all about atomic theory. kung saan is ating i-explore or ating i-review yung mga nalaman natin ukol kung saan nagmula ang electricity. Okay, so we have atomic theory. Okay, so first we will go to the definition ng atom. So atom is the smallest particle of an element that contains all the properties of the element. So yan yung definition ng atom. So smallest, so meaning that is the smallest particle of an element. So yung pinakamaliit na part. So gamit siguro tayo ng itim na pen dito. Pula. So pinakamaliit na part ng atom, ng isang element. Okay. So yan yung atom. So it is important to us to know the atom because sa concept ng electricity, dyan nagmula yung ang ating understanding or ating pagkakaalam tungkol sa electricity. So we have the structure of the atom, so mga parts ng atom. So we have the proton. So the proton is a particle with a positive electrical charge. So ito yon. So sa ating drawing, meron tayong tatlong proton. Then you have the neutron. So the neutron is a particle with no electrical charge. So ito yon sa ating drawing ng atom. Then you have the electron, a particle with a negative electrical charge. So ito yung mga electron nasa labas or nasa orbit ng atom. So ito yung electron. Okay? Then you have the nucleus. So ang nucleus, the center of the atom that contains the proton and the neutron. So if ating ibabalik, so ito yung nucleus, kung saan makikita ang proton at ang neutron. So that is the nucleus. Then you have matter. So matter is any substance that has weight and occupies space. So lahat ng bagay na makikita natin sa mundo or sa sanlibutan or sa universe is matter. Then molecule, the smallest particle of matter which retains all of the properties of the original substance. So if may dalawang atom or element na nag-combine to create a certain substance or to create isang isang bagay or a type of matter, so their composition will become a molecule. So for example, this is an atom, or this is an element. So ang kanilang pag-combine, it will create a new molecule which in turn create a new type of matter. Then we have compound. So a compound, a substance whose molecule contain two or more elements. So the example of this is H2O. So H2O is the chemical name for water. So ang H2O meron siyang element na hydrogen at may element din siya ng oxygen. So nag-combines lang dalawa, so they create H2O, and this one is called a compound. An element is a substance that cannot be broken down by chemical means. So ang element, example element is the hydrogen, oxygen, then we have also helium. Okay, so yan yung lahat ng mga elements. So there are over 110 elements in the periodic table. So basically hindi naman talaga kailangang i-memorize mo yung lahat ng elements sa periodic table kasi this is just a introduction to the concept of electricity. So introduction lang to. So the most important thing is alam natin kung ano yung meaning or ano yung definition ng nucleus, matter, molecule, compound, elements ng atom, mga parts ng atom. Kaya yung yung mga concept nito is ating dinidiscuss ngayon. So for us to know, or for you to know the definition of each of those terms, kasi kadalasan lumalabas din to sa RME exam. They have the atomic number. So the atomic number is the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom. Then it is also equal also to the number of electrons in the orbits of an atom. So kunyari if our atomic number, for example oxygen, ang atomic number ng oxygen is 8. Okay, so the 8 stands for, ang oxygen merong 8 na protons, and the number of protons is also equal to the number of electrons. So meron itong 8 electrons. So yan yung ibig sabihin ng atomic number. So the mass number is the sum of neutrons in the nucleus of an atom. So example of a mass number, so kaya sa oxygen na naman tayo. So ang mass number ng oxygen is 16. So 8 dyan is protons. Saan natin ito kinuha? From the atomic number, which is 8. So 16 minus 8, so malalaman natin kung ilan yung neutrons, and this will be 8 neutrons. Okay, so an ion is a negatively charged ion. So ang opposite ng an ion is cation, which is a positively charged ion. Then you have a neutral atom, an atom with an equal number of protons and electrons. Then we have free electrons. Electrons in the outer shell of an atom that can be easily moved from one atom to another. So ito yung ibig sabihin ng free electrons. The other term for free electrons is valence electrons. So yan yung other term for free electrons. So bakit importante ang free electrons or valence electrons? So if you are going back, babalik tayo sa ating itsura ng atom. Ito. So ang free electrons is yung electron na nasa pinakamalayo mula sa nucleus. Okay, yan yun. Now if for an instance meron tayong isang atom dito, meron siyang sarili niyang electron. So if this electron, itong electron na to na valence din sa atom na ito, is kaya nitong kunin or kaya nitong mag-move dito sa kabilang atom, sa kabilang nucleus, ito din na electron mag-move naman sa kabila, parang nagtutulakan sila. So mayroon tayong nag-move dito na electron. So this movement now, itong movement na to, the movement or ang paggalaw ng electron mula sa isang atom papunta naman sa panibagong atom, ang tawag dyan is electricity. So kaya mahalaga sa ating malaman natin ang konsepto ng atom, because the movement of the electrons consists, or it is the phenomena, or yan yung tinatawag natin na electricity. Okay, so basically if there's no electron, there will be no electricity. Now there is a misconception, or mayroon tayong paniniwala na ang tao ay gumawa ng electricity. Okay, so forward natin ito ng konti. So ang tao ay gumawa ng electricity. The correct term for that is not gumawa. We only generate, or kinuha lang natin yung electricity. So kaya tayo gumagawa ng planta is to generate, not to create. We only generate electricity because electricity is, if we are going go back to physics, electricity is a form of energy. Isa yang enerhiya, and there is a law in physics, that is the law of conservation of energy, na nagsasabi energy can neither be destroyed nor created. So hindi natin pwedeng wasakin or gumawa ng energy, but we can only transform energy from one form to another. So one form of transforming energy is to generate it. So paano natin na-generate electricity? So we can do that chemically, mechanically, or by friction. So those are the three common ways to generate electricity na matatakal din natin in the later part or on our upcoming sessions. Okay, so sa isang power plant, for example, a hydroelectric power plant, so yan yung pinaka-common natin dito, yung nasa mga dam. Okay, so that is a form of generation of electricity na galing sa paggalaw, or that is we call as kinetic energy. So yung flow ng water pinapadaan natin sa turbine, then the turbine, so that is a mechanical energy, it will turn the generator. So the generator will now create, or not create, will now transform the mechanical energy into electrical energy, and yan na yung ginagamit natin na kuryente. So it is a misconception or it's a misnomer to say na we create electricity. We only generate electricity. We only get electricity because electricity is already there in nature. Sa pagkabuo ng universe, meron ng electricity because at the start of the universe there is atom, and as long as there is atom, as long as those electrons are transferring from one atom to another, therefore there will always be electricity. Okay, so these are the characteristics of the atomic particles. So first we have the atomic charge. So we have the proton. So the proton is positive. Ang mass ng proton sa ito, so if sasabi nyo parang daming number yata yan, so the exponent is negative. So meaning 1, bago dumating 1, meron pang 0, 27 zeros, 26 zeros from the decimal point. So 0.26 zeros before mag-1. So ganyan ka liit na number ito. So electron, so negative charge, ito yung kanyang weight in kilograms, and neutron, no charge. So they are equal. So equal yung weight ng proton at ng neutron. So equal ang weight nila. Okay. Then we have also insulator and conductor. So we will define these two terms, pinaka-common to. So conductor, ang definition ng conductor when it comes to physics is substance that has many valence or free electrons. Okay, so yan yung definition ng conductor. So example of a conductor is brass, copper, silver, gold, mercury, water. So basically they have many valence electrons. So anong gagawin nila? Kaya nilang allow or pwedeng dumaan sa kanila ang current. So that's why they are called conductor. They conduct electricity. So that's why they are called conductor. So they are substance that allow the flow of current through them. So yan yung conductor. We have insulator. So any substance that contains few free electrons. So example of that is rubber, wood, glass, etc. So because this substance contains few, so konti lang yung kanilang free electrons, that's why it's hard for current or electricity to flow through them. Mahirap makadaan sa kanila yung kuryente. So that's why they are called insulator. So the example of that is rubber, wood, and glass. So the purpose of having these two, ang conductor, you are talking about wires. So if kunin natin yung cross-sectional area ng wire, so hindi masyadong perfect yung circle natin. So yung nakabalot sa wire, ang tawag dyan is insulator. So this is the most common application of the concept of conductors and insulator. Yung copper sa loob, ang tawag dyan is conductor. Okay, so ano yung purpose ng dalawa? So yung insulator, ito yung nagpo-protect sa conductor kung saan dito dumadaan yung current. So if the if the wire has no insulator, so for example, the common insulator of wire is rubber, so it could be the very first na mangyayari is it could be prone to accidental contact. So marahil may mga aksidente na hahawak sa copper, sa conductor, at makukuryente. And also, if pinagsama rin sa isang raceway or sa isang tubo o sa isang cable tray, then if walang insulation, then magkakaroon tayo ng short circuit. Okay, so there are also wires na bare yung copper, but so kaya ito bare copper, kapag pinagsama siya sa isang wire, sila ay magkalayo. So parang sabihin nyo, so wala yang insulator. Okay, so there is insulator between them, yung air. So that's why they are placed at a certain distance. So mayroon yang standard distance according to the Philippine Electrical Code between sa dalawang conductor na ito. And of course, kapag bare yung conductor, hindi mo yan pwedeng ipagdikit because it will automatically cause a short circuit. Okay? So we have also the electron flow. Okay, so the movement of electron from a negative ion to positive ion. Okay, so ito yung pinaka common natin na knowledge about the flow of electricity. Okay, so for example, meron tayong battery. Ang battery, dalawa yan, positive, negative terminal. Okay, so ito yung terminal natin. Kunyari, connect natin to sa isang ilaw. Okay. Dito rin sa baba. Okay. So, if we are going to have the definition of electron flow, because electron is negative. Negative yung electron. So, ang electron, dito yan lalabas malamang sa negative terminal. Okay. Saan yan papunta? So dadaan yan sa ilaw, it will cause the light to light up, tapos pupunta yan sa positive because yung negative, kung sa magnet pa yan, yung negative pupunta yan sa positive, or yung north and south sila yung mag-a-attract. So that is the electron flow. So the negative terminal will release the electron, pass through the load, so either it is a resistor, ilaw, appliances, and it will go back to the negative. So this is just a general, because we could say this is just applicable to DC because AC is another concept, but basically that is how electron flow from negative to positive. But if you are going to analyze this one, analyze this one from circuit analysis, we have ang tawag natin dito is the conventional flow or engineering flow. So ito yung ginagamit to analyze circuit. Okay. So, ito yung symbol for battery. So, this is the positive side, negative side. Usually, when analyzing circuit, the flow of electricity is from positive to negative. Okay, so the reason for that is para mas madali yung analysis ng circuit. Because if you are going to do the other way around, so there is a certain terms sa mathematics na kapag binaliktad mo, magiging negative lahat ng value, and people are prone to have a different view when your answers are or when you are tackling with negative values. So kaya ang ginagawa is pinabaliktad so that all of the values are mostly positive at hindi negative. Okay, so we have electron flow for electrical conductor materials. We have the conductor allows the flow of electrons. Insulator limits the flow of electrons. Then we have atomic structure of common elements. Okay, so we have the three common elements which are all conductors. So ito. So first we have the element, the number of electrons. So for copper, 29. For aluminum, 13. Germanium, 32. So copper and aluminum are the two most common conductor. Then germanium is one of the common semiconductor. So semiconductor is isa siyang material na at a certain temperature magiging conductor siya, at a certain temperature magiging insulator. Then the number of protons for copper is 29, aluminum 13, and germanium is 32. Then the number of neutrons for copper 34, aluminum 14, and germanium is 41. Then the valence electrons for each of them, so 1 sa copper, 3 sa aluminum, at 4 sa germanium. Okay, so I believe yan ang lahat para sa atomic theory, and that will be all for the lesson for basic electricity. Okay, so next meeting, our discussion, so next Saturday, still at the same time, our discussion will be all about Ohm's law. So sa next session na yun is magsosolve na tayo ng mga problem involving Ohm's law at kung ano pang mga problems na kung saan makahanap tayo ng current, voltage, resistance, and power. Okay, so for those of you na gustong sumali sa ating online platform, so sa video na yung pinapanood ngayon, meron tayong link. So ano ko muna yung link natin. Ito. So meron tayong link sa ating Google Classroom na online platform. Okay, so yan naman natin yung online platform natin. Okay, so sa pinapanood yung nga video, sa baba dyan, so meron dyang sa description. So ito yung FB page na kung saan you can be updated for the upcoming na mga videos. Then we have also ito yung classroom, ito yung Google Classroom natin na platform na kung saan you can be updated doon, kasi may mga sample na videos, examination examples, tapos kung ano-ano pang mga discussion doon na pwede nyong mapanood. So ito i-type nyo lang to, tapos you can be now updated to the online na platform natin using Google Classroom. Okay, so I believe yan na yung lahat for this week, for this weekend. So I hope na next time I can still have you around para sa ating discussion. So basic Ohm's law. So ulit, you join this Google Classroom na group. So this is just free. So pag na-click nyo to, automatic mag-i-install yung Google Classroom sa cellphone nyo, or kung meron na kayong Google Classroom, automatic din na mag-ano din to, automatic na ma-join kayo sa class. Nandun lahat yung mga example videos, mga exam, tapos meron ding mga ibang review materials doon. So yan naman na natin yun, i-open natin yung kung ano nga bang nasa loob nun. Okay, hanapin ko muna dito yung Google Classroom ko na okay, so ito yung loob niyan, laman. Then you just press this one, classwork, ito. Then nandyan lahat yung ito yung mga solved problems, the video tutorials, and the calculator techniques. Then we have the exams, no? So sa review materials, as of now wala pa ito, so mag-upload din ako dyan ng mga review materials. So these are all for free, wala pa tong bayad. Okay, so again, thank you for joining this live stream, and hope to see you again next week.